Hickok 45 here, and I'm ready to go to war with my military style hunting rifle. How's that? Let's take a shot. Oh, pot. A little smoking to get it going. Yeah. Put the fire out with that thing. Now let's go across the hill. Wake up the gong. Boom. Let's wake up that square plate. Oh yeah, shootsamesteel.com, and let's do the middle plate. Oh yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Model 70. Man. So you're asking, what thought y'all did a Model 70 recently? We did, but not a pre-64. I think I mentioned in that video that if I ever got one for myself, I might try to find a pre-64 Model 70. And guess what happened to me? Yep, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, at the Wanamaker Gun Show, I was able to trade into one. I'll take this off just so you can see how pretty it is, okay? And look at this thing. This is a pre-64 Model 70. I was just firing a little federal ammo in it. We're going to fire some more. It was made, guess when? It's a pre-war Model 70. So you might ask, what war, Hickok? Well, whenever you hear something pre-war in the firearms world, they generally mean World War II, because it was a pretty big war, okay? So if it's pre-war, post-war, they're talking about, you know, before 1940 or after 1945, you know, in that vicinity, okay? World War II. So I stumbled upon this, oh man, at the Tulsa Gun Show. That's the place to go if you're looking for a pre-64 Model 70 anyway. But and I've I've had kind of on my radar as a possibility, but I wasn't even sure which caliber I wanted, and I wasn't really looking for a 30-06. That's what this is, by the way. But it was a one possibility. I was thinking maybe a 270, maybe something different, but I was leaning towards 270. I just wasn't sure. Well, the gun kind of took care of that answer for me, because it came across this one, and what is that? Well, it looks a little different. And what's that safety? It looks a little odd. Let me cock it. Put the safety on. It's got this flag safety, and it's just a little bit different. And got to realizing that, and it's just cool. It says 30 government 06 instead of 30-06. You know, it's just an early one. So 1940 is a pre-war model. So this is one of the first Model 70s made, really, because they started making them in 1936. As you saw, I'll link to the first video we did on John's Model 70, which is a new one, which is cool because we've now got really old and then really new in the same rifle. And it's kind of interesting because it's like Back to the Future or Back to the Past, because his is really cool too, because they started doing a lot of the things they did back in the old days with them, you know, with the controlled feed and just doing a really nice job on them. And his is an actual super grade. This is a standard grade. But again, it was 1940. You know, the guy said, this is a 1940 pre-war model. I said, really? And the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. Because even though it's just a standard grade, well, just a standard grade, you know, the standard grade is nice. Look at the wood and that grain. Almost looks like burl. You know, it's got some nice grain to it, pretty wood, and it's in really good shape. Really good shape. I've been handling it here today, but you know, the bluing is still in really nice condition. No big bad gouges in it or anything. It's just smooth. It's early serial number, under 30,000. So that tells you. And the barrel was 1938. I took it off, and you know, it's marked 1938. So, you know, 1938, 40. So it's not like the barrel's been switched out or anything. It's just all was made there about that time. You know, they're making the various components, and you know, they're used up different times. In fact, pre-war models go back to anything I think made between 1936 and I read and 47. Actually, they're classified as pre-war firearms because they're made the same way, same parts, basically, same procedures. It's just that they call them pre-war as far as the classification, even though we know that if you put it together in 1947, that's after the war, okay? But they're classified as pre-war. It's a type 1. And then 47 and 48, 1947, 48, I think were the transitional period guns. And after that, you got the Type 3s, or the post-war, they call them. So look, there's books written on the Model 70, and I haven't read them all. I've read parts of one, and I have just enough interest, know just enough to be dangerous. But I know enough that I like them, and I know it's considered the rifleman's rifle, and it is just a wonderful rifle. So I thought I should probably own one. And again, as I think I mentioned before, if I own one, maybe I'd like a pre-64 model. I didn't expect to end up with a pre-war model, even older. So that's pretty cool. Let's load it. And you know what else is cool about this one? There were just so many reasons I couldn't pass it up. It takes stripper clips. The pre-war models they've cut out here for stripper clips. And also it had metal head sights. I think all the pre-war models and most of the am I correct? Most of the pre-64 models have metallic sights on them, but that's always nice for me because I don't always want to put a scope on. And then there are some disadvantages because it's not drilled and tapped, for scope as the later models were, as you can see everywhere. It's got a couple there, but you have to. It's not as easy to fit a scope on it anyway. I think you have to get special mounts or whatever. But I probably wouldn't do that. I like the fact that it's got sights on it and it takes a stripper clip. It's almost like an 03 Springfield in a lot of ways, isn't it? Well, it is. I like it in a lot of ways. Both copy the, guess what? The Mauser. But that is neat that it takes stripper clips. If you're out hunting, you can always load it quickly if you want to, right? Smooth rifle, no doubt about it. Let's shoot something else with it. All right, so I always have to, it's on fire. Okay. Now we've had a little trouble with the watermelons here, these two. Let's see if this one will break. Oh, that one did. One the other day wouldn't break. Oh boy. I bet that 2-liter will break. 30-06. I think so. Oh, there's a thing of water. Cool. A bowling pin. And that's it. 5 rounds. It's actually not a high capacity military fire. That's the thing though. You could use it as one, at least as a bolt action. Have a lot of clips with you, load it, and keep firing, just like they did the 03 Springfield. So pretty neat. And I talked a little bit about these pre-64 models, not as much when I was showing y'all John's, more recently made super grade 308. But back in the day, they didn't have CNC machinery and any of that. And I was reading they took a 7-pound billet of steel to make this receiver, and milled it out down to 19 ounces, a little bit over a pound. I mean, it was just an arduous process the way they did things back then. They had to. And it was expensive to make. The same with the bolt. It's a one piece of steel, and they'd mill it out. And boy, this is back when they had to do a lot of handwork. Even though it was mass produced, there was a lot of handwork and hand fitting at various stages. I was reading that like on the safety, you can take the safety off one of these and put it on a different bolt. It may not fit. You may have to do a little fitting on it because, again, so much hand fitting. Look at all the watermelon. What a mess. Be sure I'll get my rifle in it. But, what else about the thing? Gosh. It seems all correct. If you see something you don't recognize, if you're an expert in Model 70s, you might point that out. But it has the ramp on the front sight. These early ones, they were actually part of the barrel. Look at that. They weren't soldered on or drilled and tapped or anything. They're actually part of the barrel, that ramp is, of the front sight. Just things like that, wow, we hardly imagine doing today, making a rifle. Gorgeous gun, all steel, like everything on it. I think the trigger guard, the floor plate, it's just made like they used to make them. You can see the screws. It's still in good shape. This gun has been taken care of, and it's been around a while. What, 60, 70, gosh, almost 80 years. This thing has been around a while, and I'm proud. It's got the steel butt plate. Those are only on the early models. Again, this is a Type 1, as it's called, pre-war. and it's back when they did the, you know, the real checkering, and instead of pressed checkering. And that's not a super grade, but it's a nice rifle, and it feels good. Now, it doesn't feel bad for me in length, even without the rubber pad. But if I'm going to shoot it much, I want to put this on. It's almost sacrilegious, isn't it, to put this on this beautiful Model 70, but let's be practical. It feels better to me, gets my eye away from the sight a little bit, and I can shoot it a little better, I think. So I need to get a sling for it. What kind of sling you think I should put on this thing? Get some nylon sling, Uncle Mike's nylon, some big ugly thing. Oh man, let's load it. I don't think I can shoot it till I load it. You know what I've got? Again, we appreciate the help from Federal. We've got some American Eagle 30-06 and watermelon everywhere. Got some Fusion. I already put some Fusion in one of these. Oh, you know what? I guess I already shot it. I think I had some. Yeah, I did. That may be what I just shot. I'll get some more out. And that's one advantage of, you know, like a Model 70. You can shoot the hunting rounds, or 30-06. You can shoot hunting rounds and that sort of thing. Some rifles, if they're designed for just military ball, NATO ball, then, you know, like a Garand, for example, you don't want to be firing like this ammo probably. What's the weight on this? 165 grain. It's a hunting round. I don't know. It may not be too hot for a Garand, but you have to be a little bit careful with that in terms of bending the op rod and things like that. But this is a really versatile rifle. Of course, I could have had it loaded by the time I put them in there, right? But I'm getting a kick out of having, you know, a bolt-action hunting rifle, basically, that'll use these .3. Well, that didn't work so well, did it? I didn't have it down far enough, I think. That will use these clips. It's pretty cool. And you saw already, it works well. I just didn't have the clip down far enough. And of course, it loads like butter anyway. You don't need the clip. All right. And for those of you not familiar, this kind of safety and everything, all the way forward, locks up everything. It's on safe, and you can't work the bolt, trigger won't pull. Put it halfway, and you can open it up and everything, but you can't pull the trigger. Got to pull the back here to fire it. And again, this is the old controlled feed, like the Mauser. Whoa, yeah. Wow, took that bowling pin off, didn't it? Didn't even shoot it. Yeah, those are good rounds. You can feel just a little more velocity there. Smoke a pot, got one left for the gong. Yeah. Got there fast, hit it hard, didn't it? Some of you are new to firearms and bolt guns. You may not know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I've shown you all that, but if something is control fed, if it's controlled feed, I guess you'd call it, the bolt picks it up. You see it's got this big extractor and everything. And one advantage too, if you needed to unload your gun, let's say it's, oh, I can't shoot now, I've got to unload. It's getting too dark, you know, or all the viewers left. We're not going to shoot anymore. Well, that could happen because I'm talking too much, so they all leave. So with controlled feed, it picks up the round. So it gets up into the extractor. You don't even have to put it in the battery. You can pull it back out and eject it. It's pretty cool. So, whoops, didn't work so well on that one, did it? Didn't grab it. Well, we have to take it all the way forward, okay. But you don't put it in battery in terms of putting the bolt down. It pulls it out. So that's controlled feed. It picks up the round. Let me put an opening in there. Show you. It picks it up, so you know it holds it. So you know gravity is not going to cause your round to fall out. You could shoot upside down. A lot of people do that all the time, right? Be hanging from a tree limb. Pull that. So it hangs on to it as opposed to push feed. A lot of bolts in modern firearms, it just depends. Some now have gone back to controlled feed. There's arguments, there's debates over which is better and all that. Most people, I guess traditionalists, purists, kind of, I think, favor the controlled feed. I mean, it's hard to argue with Mauser, right? But I have seen good arguments for push feed too. People claiming that in some ways it might be more reliable if you're hunting dangerous game or something. But it picks it up and holds it in the extractor, you know, and it pops it out. So pretty neat. I know a lot of you love bolt guns, and a lot of you really like the military surplus bolt guns, as do I. And I like this too. I mean, it's just, it's a hunting rifle, and I won't try to repeat everything. I'll link to that video with John's gun in it, but you know, again, this superseded the Model 54 from Winchester. It was an improved Model 54 basically, and it was so popular. It is one of the most beloved bolt-action rifles ever made. Probably, maybe the most beloved bolt-action rifle ever made. Just the looks, the fit, the feel, and everything about it. There were so many great gun writers, you know, back in the day in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that have just constantly bestowed so much love on it, and people who are hard to please, you know, have just liked this rifle. And again, pre-64 is very significant with Winchester, because that's when they changed things in order to compete financially and continue making a lot of firearms. The Remington 700 came out in about 62, and it's a nice rifle, but they figured out ways on that rifle to make it much more inexpensively, and Winchester knew they weren't going to be able to compete with it. It was a good rifle, and they changed the chambering, the method for making I think the receiver. They weren't milling it out of a 7-pound block of good steel necessarily, and all that kind of thing. I think maybe they were it was probably cast, I don't know. But anyway, they were making that firearm, and a pretty good one for a lot less money. And Winchester they had to change gears to compete. So it was really the Winchester 700, from my reading, that caused, or the Remington 700, that caused Winchester to change gears and start making these in a different manner. They went to the push feed and changed the action to some extent, and just other things, cost-cutting measures. I think that's when they stopped. They started pressing the checkering, changed the checkering, a lot of different things. And it was still a good rifle. And a lot of people looking at it objectively, as I've read, maintain it was still maybe the best rifle out there, you know, but because everybody had been spoiled by this beautiful thing and the way it was made, it was hard to accept. You know how that is. You know, we're all the same way. And it's why these have become so collectible. Pre-64, anything made, you know, up through 63 in a Winchester, even in their lever guns, as I've pointed out before, it's collectible now, and they're like buying a piece of real estate. So this firearm will only, if I take care of it, will only appreciate in value. It won't go down in value, because they're not making any more. Hey, get this news flash. I am so smart, I amaze myself sometimes. They're not making any more pre-64 Winchesters, okay? Make a note of that. It's true. You can believe me. And it's just nice rifle. It really is. In fact, let's load it up and shoot it and quit talking about it. Let's load it fast, because we need it, get it loaded. There we go. See, I did that one right. Get these ears on. Those red plates over there, they're feeling neglected. I'm going to shoot the little one if I can. Yeah, I can. The rifle can. Let's try the middle one. Boom. Boy, it's nice that the sights are right on. I did lower the rear sight a little bit. It was a little higher than I like at this distance. Depends on what distance I'm shooting at. 30-06 again. 30-06. Go for the cinder block over there. I knew that. Well, I'm having a hard time seeing that black sight on that black cinder block. We'll save the rest of it for another day. We'll go to the square target. Yep, I didn't shoot the paper either. Man, I got to shoot a little bit more. Can I do it? I really like this. I tell you, I don't know. Well, I do. No, I guess I like lever guns a little more than bolt guns. But boy, it's a toss-up. It's almost a toss-up. So you don't need a clip to load it. You can just pop them in there. It loads like butter. Or watermelon. I could mix some watermelon in there, couldn't I? Oh yeah, let's shoot this paper. I'll put the safety on so I can't shoot. Yeah, can't shoot. Now this flag safety is kind of interesting, but I've also read it makes it a little more difficult on a scope because it sticks up a little bit more out in the way than the more modern safeties. But I'll never have a scope on it, so I like it. I don't think I'll ever have a scope on it. Wow. Look how accurate this rifle is. I told you it was accurate. Almost got bullseyes there. Wow, at that long range. And let's try that little plate again. Yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Nothing else to blow up right here, right? I'd be ashamed if I missed with this beautiful thing. I'll take that off so I don't, so you can see it better now. Oh boy, that is really neat. If you look at these, even the old ones, I don't remember what year it is. Maybe in the Type 2, the transition period, 47, 48. I'm not sure what year it was. They stopped using the metal butt plate like that, and you know, but that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. That indicates that's an age indicator as well. Anything else I didn't tell you about it that I know? I took the barrel out just the other day. I took it apart. There's a lot of screws you have to take out. It's really tight. Boy, they got it nailed down, screwed down tight. No free floating here, man. That barrel is screwed into the stock. But they did such a good job on these. They were still, you know, accurate. They're even more accurate rifles, and I think now they're free floated and all that, but probably way more accurate than I am. But just well made, and you know, again, a lot of handwork, and it's just the kind of rifle that you enjoy, you know, owning and shooting and hanging on to, because it wasn't cheap, and it will appreciate in value if I take care of it. And it's just kind of nice having one Model 70 and it being, again, a pre-64. Okay, pre-64, 1940. That's a long time ago. You know, you think about the people making this, they weren't even aware, probably, that World War II was about to involve all of us and blow up so big and all that kind of thing, just over there making rifles. And as I've pointed out before, for new folks, History Challenge folks, during the war, they had to be making other things, not Model 70s, right? And so that's why I have said that, made that comment with so many different rifles, historical rifles, like up to World War II, yeah, they made this, and then they started again in 45 or 46 or 47. It just stopped, you know, a lot of the sporting firearms, you know, production, whatever it was. You know, the Colt single action is another example of that. But good old rifle, 30-06. I'm happy to have one in 30-06. I love it that it says 30 government 06 on there too. And guess what? You know, I badmouth Winchester, Browning, and that kind of thing every now and then. Talk about, you know, where's the plant? Where are they making these? You know, now, and they're making them all over the world. You know, it seems. But it is also kind of neat to have a Winchester that's a real Winchester that was made in New Haven, Connecticut. You know, in 1940. So that's another one of the advantages of having an older firearm. Now, I mean, I don't want to sound like a snob, you know, a brand new Model 70 is so cool. And that's really what I was about to purchase, because I love John's. It's just a sweet rifle. And you got a wide range of choices of, you know, calibers, chamberings, and you have that on the old ones too. It's just that they're also collectible. It's, phew, what can you find, and what grade is it going to be, and how incredibly expensive might it be, just depending on the serial number, whether it's a super grade or not, or a Featherlight, and also how many they made. In my reading, I realized they actually made this thing in 9mm. I don't know how many they made. It's a highly collectible. Maybe they made 5 of them or something as an experiment. I don't know, or 100. I don't know. But there really is one in 9mm out there, and there's not many of them. So it's extremely hard to find, as I understand. 35 Remington is another one they didn't make many of, and there was another one, I forget the chambering. So depending on the year and how many they made in that chambering, and they didn't make every chambering every year along the way, like a lot of other firearms that are classics, and there's so many of them that were made over a long period of time. There's so many variations, just like a model, 1873 Winchester or something, or 92, all barrel links and stock configurations, and then tweak it and make little changes here and there, along the way. So that's why there are lots of books written on like this rifle, right here, the Model 70, and as well as other firearms. So anyway, thought I'd bring it to you, and you probably see it again. I'm sure of that. I know I will shoot it every now and then. I'll try to take good care of it for you. I'm the curator of this museum piece for a while, as long as I can be, and I'll take good care of it. And I'll bring it out every now and then, fire it, and enjoy it, and hopefully share it with you all. Appreciate you supporting the people that support us. Come back and see us. Life is good.
Well, Dad didn't see the 2-liter, so I'm going to take care of it. That's how it's done. Hey Dad, will you throw me another pot? All right, cool. Yeah, I'm just setting up here for another video. Wanted to remind you guys to check out our friends over at SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. They are a fully accredited online distance learning program where you get certified in gunsmithing and get an associate's degree in firearms technology. They also accept GI bills. So check them out over at sdi.edu. And also check out our friends at vaultecsafe.com. You've seen the pistol safes on the main shooting table in some of our videos, so check them out if you need one of those. And also go to hickok45.com, and you can find basically everything that you need to know about us. You can see all of our various supporters over there and stay up to date on our Facebook pages and Twitter, Hickok45 on Facebook, The Real Hickok45 at Instagram. There's also the Hickok45 and Son YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff, and full30.com. We've got videos over there. So just go to hickok45.com, and that's where you can basically find anything else you need to know. And also our store, don't forget that.